Hi everybody, for this week video I show you how I cast on my machine. First I will start by the black needle, one in the front, one in the back for the first row. I will share with you how to close your tube at the end using the waste yarn. The waste yarn is the yarn that will help to close the tube. And it's very important to use waste yarn that is very contrasting to your project yarn. So in this case, I use some yellow. Open the yarn feeder after 5 rows and bring up the peacock color yarn from Belknap Premium. I just put that in the yarn feeder and continue to crank for the number of rows that I need. For this case, I will use 25 rows. So I crank like this. It's very important to use yarn with a little stretch in it if you're newbies and not too thick. So in this case I use 4 millimeters of yarn. So in some country Aran yarn, and in my country it's Belknap Premium that work well for me. So I come back to the waste yarn after I finish with the working yarn, the project yarn, whatever you name it. Different country, different name. So I just put it there and I will continue making at least 5 rows. When the machine ends up with no yarn going through the yarn feeder, it releases it by itself like this. So after I will put that together, the tail of yarn will be on the opposite way that I will use my hook, 4.5 millimeter to close. So take the one stitch in the middle and one stitch on the side. That's why I use waste yarn with a contrasting color. That is very important, so that way I could see my color, my project color easier. So I grab one stitch on one side and one stitch on the other side. So it looked like this. So this way will help you have a professional look on your finishing end of tube. So if you're new on my channel, I have a lot of different video on this channel. It's more than 500, so if you need some inspiration, feel free to go visit it. So I finished the row. Now it's time to remove the waste yarn. Just pull on the tail and it will work like this. This side is the cast off from the machine. How did I know? Because it was easy to remove. The waste yarn is always easier to remove that side. So now I will do the same thing, and I got the tail of yarn on the opposite way, so that way I could close it at the end of the row. So this side is the cast on side. So at the end you will have to remove the first row of the waste yarn to be able to release it from the project. So I continue one side, grab one on the other side. Like this, one side, and grab the second one. Like this. I continue. Very important to grab all the stitches. If you miss one, you will end up with a drop stitch. And if you're a newbie, sometimes you could struggle to do that. But with time, you learn that drop stitch is not the end of the world. It's easy, and when you cannot do it, you just restart. There's nothing wrong with restarting. That's the way we learn. So grab all the stitches. And as you can see, the tail of yarn is not the right place that I wanted, so I will cheat. I will grab my wool needle and braid the tail of yarn, the yarn where I need it to be. So now I'm able to close the row. And now, like I said, I have to remove the first row like this. And then I will be able to remove the rest of the yarn. You could use that technique to make scarf, mitten, name it. Oh, it's very important to know how to release your waste yarn. So hope you like this video and that you have a nice day today. So now it's time to hide those tail of yarn. Very easy. You just grab your wool needle and bring all this little tail between the two layers, and then you cut the excess just like this. Stretch it and disappear. I continue the same thing for the last one. What I did, pull a little bit and stretch and disappear.